Hi, Percussion. So I have a quick video to just get you ready and starting to work on these duets. I know that learning xylophone is new for some of you, and we're going to go slower, but you're going to be able to read notes by the time that you're done with this. I'm hoping that all of you were able to find either if you have a piano or keyboard at home, that's great. If you were able to find one of the apps that I recommended on your phone or tablet, that's awesome. Or the best thing that you could do is rent a bell kit from Music and Arts. But if you're not able to do that, these are other options. There are going to be a couple things that you won't be able to do unless you actually have two mallets on a xylophone. But that's okay. As long as you know the notes and how to read it, then it's going to be a lot better. So I'm going to switch over and share the music, and we will see your first step. Okay, so I have it ready to share with you, and you're going to see I color-coded a couple of things to make this easier for you. So in 1 second you will see this, and you should be seeing it on your screen now. So whenever we play a duet, we learned a little bit about staves. So we have this up at the top, we have this bracket. So I've highlighted part 1 and part 2. So if you were assigned to play the top part, you would play the yellow. The bottom part is the blue. And they would happen simultaneously. So if you were doing the yellow, there's a little bit of delay with my thing. But if you were doing the top part, you would go straight through the yellow and then to the second line. So you want to make sure that you're not stopping at the end of this line up here and waiting for the blue to go. By having a bracket at the beginning is letting you know that these two things happen simultaneously. Okay, so now you will see a couple of things. First off, on the top part, you will see that there are two notes. For right now, you do not have to do both of those. Those are called double stops. And double stops are when you play the top note with your right hand and the bottom note with your left. Now, if you aren't sure about note reading yet, just know these are actually the same note an octave apart. These are both D's. So once you know one, you might be able to copy the other, and I know that you'll be able to do that. But for this first assignment, if you just want to pick the bottom notes, that is completely fine, or just the top notes. You do not have to do both of them. The other thing that you need to know is these 3 lines through the notes, that is a roll. And so there, when you roll on a xylophone, you have both of them sticks and you're rolling so that you hear both of those notes. If you're on one note, you're going to have one mallet. Let me see, I'll get another pen. I don't have mallets. You're going to be on one bell and you'd roll back and forth like this. If you're on 2 different notes, you're rolling back and forth. This is the one thing that you're not going to be able to do unless you actually have a bell kit at home, a xylophone at home. So don't worry so much about that now. I want you to know the notes. The very first assignment that I'm having you do is to print out this music and write the notes down. It is important to write the notes on this music and not a separate piece of paper because you also have to see the rhythm. So the first note is in the first part is a D, and you're going to always use capital letters and write it underneath. Now, I feel like you're all very smart people, and you can tell that this second note is this exact same thing. So do not write it again, because then you're going to start reading what you wrote and not the music. Now, if you remember what we learned about the treble clef, here are the 5 lines of the treble clef. The lines, every good boy does fine, okay? And I'll put those, every good boy does fine. And the spaces are F, A, C, E. So they go up and spell face, which rhymes with space. So now you can tell, okay, D, oh, here's the bottom line. Let's look. Oh, it's an E for every. But there is this little B sign there. That means flat. So that's an accidental, and that always goes before it when you're reading music. But when you're writing it, you're going to write E and a little flat above it, like that. That's going to just be a different key. Don't worry about where this is on the xylophone right now. That's going to be the next video. Okay? Now also notice it's going from a space to a line, like steps. So we're going to go up alphabetically. D, E flat. Can anyone guess what the next note is? It's the bottom space, and it comes after E in the alphabet. That's right, you got it. It is an F. And then again, I'm not going to write it a second time because you're smart and you can tell that those are the same. Then, oh my gosh, look at the next two measures. Where have we seen these before? That's right, at the beginning. It's the same exact thing. So you're repeating it, even for rhythm. Well, you can write it again to make sure. So D, D, E flat, F. And you'll see that it has a, it goes up stepwise. Space, line, space. Okay, we're going to keep going. And now we have, now you can realize, oh, I was on an F. I'm just going down one space to this bottom line. This is an E flat again. What comes before E in the alphabet? No, pencil broke. Is a D. And there's a new note for this exercise. What comes before D in the alphabet? That's right, C. It has this line through it. That's a ledger line. This is actually middle C. This is right between the two clefs. E flat, D, C. Back up one. D, E flat, D, C. Makes sense? So far, this song only uses 5 notes. So the only thing missing from my little chart down here is D comes here, and then C is below it. So D, C. Okay, we're going to go on to the second line. And we have some very similar things. So we just talked about C. If you notice at the top line, you ended on a C. You're going to start the second line still on a C. It's right there. So you have C. I'm not going to write it again. It's the same thing. D, E flat. They are both E flats, even though the flat sign is only here once. Accidentals remain in a measure. Remember, measures are divided by these lines. Keep going. C, up, C, D, E flat, quarter note rest, F, E flat, D, C, D. Here's another, this is B flat, B flat, B flat, B flat. Okay, so there's the top line. If you have the bottom part, you're going to follow the same formula by reading the notes. So there's a little bit different, but still the same. This is a B flat, because of that. Another B flat, C, D. Now use this down here. Every good boy does. So fourth line, I'm not going to write it again because we know it's the same. It once again repeats the beginning. B flat, C, D. Goes down a step. B flat, A, B flat, C, B flat, A. Make sure you're using capital letters. Down to the second line. Okay, we got the second space. Second space is A. Second letter in the word face. A. Here's A again. I'm going to leave it. Up one. B flat, because the flat sign. C. C. A. B flat. C. Quarter rest, same as the top. Fourth line. Every good boy does. D. Then we're just going down the scale, down the alphabet backwards. Remember B flat because of this, A. And then it ends, with a whole bunch of B flats. So you don't have to write anything else because you're staying on the same note. So the first assignment this week is for you to just send me a picture of you writing in the of your paper that should look like this, but it will only have either the top or the bottom part. You can do both if you want to keep practicing. But that is your quick, just what you should be doing this week. If you have a keyboard or a piano and the bars are labeled, or on your xylophone app the bars are labeled, feel free to start trying to play it. But don't worry about that yet. We'll get there. But make sure that you're writing the notes under the note that it lines up with. Don't write it anywhere else. So you're going to do great, and I can't wait to see your pictures of the notes. Try not to copy exactly what I did. Just make sure, see if you can do it yourself. Use pencil and do it yourself. And if you're able to, awesome. If not, erase it and just see what you missed. Good luck. Bye.